Hey everyone, this is Keith with Oldpocalypse. Happy 2024. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, all of those things. So great to be with you here again. So today I wanted to talk about a pretty serious health scare that I had late last year. And I want to tell you about something new that's going to be coming up on the channel soon. So let's get right into it. I had a couple of crowns put on in my mouth, of course, on the left side, top and bottom, late last year, just a few days before Christmas, permanent crowns put in. So I had temporary crowns taken out, and I had permanent crowns put in. Everything seemed to go okay. It's a little hard to get some of the crowns out. Not the most fun I've had all year. Got the new crowns put in. Everything seemed to be fine. The next morning, I woke up and I was in some pain, but I figured that was just because they had to kind of yank the temporary crowns out, and I didn't use any Novocaine for what I expected would be a really short procedure. So went through that day and the pain really didn't get better. I was taking Motrin, Tylenol. Things were not really improving. Kathy was with me, and we were kind of, wondering what was going on, because I was also starting to feel just a little ill, not just in pain, but a little bit ill. So next morning is Saturday, December 23rd. Kathy went to work for 24 hours at her hospital, and when I woke up that day on that Saturday, I felt like death warmed over. It was absolutely horrendous. Didn't know what was going on. It was all the left side of my mouth. And so I figured it had something to do with the crowns that were put in, the temporaries taken out and the permanent crowns put in. But I could not figure out how that could be connected in any way. So felt really bad, couldn't seem to get any better. I called Kathy and had her look at my ear, because my ear was also feeling very tender. It was feeling swollen and just off. So Kathy strongly recommended at that point that I go to the ER at our local hospital. I wasn't going to. I really didn't feel like it. What I wanted to do was just lay there in bed and try to get better, because I still thought it was just pain from the tooth, from taking the temporary crown out and putting the permanent one in. I went to the hospital anyway, because, my wife knows what she's talking about, and thought I should go. So I went to the hospital, and they did some tests, including a CT scan, which I didn't expect. And they were worried about some things. So I was there for 3 or 4 hours. I had a CT scan done, had a full blood workup done, and they gave me a bag of IV antibiotics in the hospital while I'm sitting there in a chair. So a full bag of IV antibiotics, sent me home with a prescription for more antibiotics. Went home, laid down, and did not move. And for the next, about 3 or 4 days, including through Christmas, I felt the worst I've ever felt by a mile for a continuous period. Felt like I had the worst flu of my life. I felt absolutely hideous. Didn't want to move. I didn't eat for days. I didn't drink coffee for days. And for me, when I'm really sick, that's a sure sign of it. When I won't drink coffee, that means I am in bad shape. And I was. So I was taking the antibiotics, was barely able to get downstairs. Christmas Day, that was sad. Was down for opening presents, and after that had to come right back up. What happened was this: from getting the crowns put in, when the temporaries were put out, before the permanent ones were put in, just minutes later, some bacteria had to have gotten in the space where the temporary crown was, because I developed a blood infection called cellulitis. That's what made my ear swell up. It's what made the side of my face red. And it turns out that cellulitis is a very dangerous condition if it progresses to something called sepsis. Now, sepsis is something that even those of you who are non-medical, i.e. people like me, have heard of. When someone goes septic, that's a really dangerous condition. And I have type 2 diabetes, which you can hear about in other videos that I'll link to. Diabetes is an additional dangerous underlying factor for sepsis, which can lead to fatal outcomes. Sepsis is dangerous enough on its own, but when you have underlying factors, it can be extremely dangerous. I found out later, I started getting better. The antibiotics started working, and I did slowly improve. I got a 10-day course of antibiotics, and it got rid of all the infection. So the takeaway from that is go to the hospital if something like that happens and you're not sure. Just play it safe. Don't just assume that you're going to get better. If I had waited 24 hours, Kathy said, and the hospital person said that it may have been too late for me. The cellulitis might have progressed to sepsis fully throughout my body, an infection throughout my whole body. If it had continued, there's a decent possibility that I may not be here to do this right now because I might be, dead. So, I am not dead, I am alive, and so I'm happy about that. That was a lot of my vacation, a lot of my holiday break, and so it took me a long time to recover from that. I'm still, well, I guess I'm pretty close to 100% now. I've been back working on my bike again, putting in some miles down in the basement in my little man cave there, riding my bike on Zwift. So I will update you on those things as well. But physically, I'm feeling pretty much back to normal again, and I'm really pleased about that. Second piece of news to report here is we're going to be introducing some new content in 2024 and continuing on, and that is my father has moved in with us, and he is going to be making some videos for the channel as well. I've asked him and he has agreed to do it. So the idea here is that, my father is in his 80s now, and I think it would be great to see what it's like to be getting to be his age and even getting older. And I want him to kind of document his day-to-day life, some of the challenges he is facing at his age, in the same way, sort of paralleling what Kathy and I are doing, getting older as we are. We're both around 60 now. So, my dad is a good bit older than that, and I want you to get a sense of what his life is like. And so he is going to be talking to you. He is going to be documenting what he is doing. And I think that'll be fun too, to see kind of two generations as we age. So stay tuned for that. Going forward into the new year, we'll be interested to see your feedback on that. And you'll have a chance to sort of accompany my father on his journey as well. So you will be seeing lots of videos from Kathy and me going forward, and from my father as well, Keith Sr. So stay on the lookout for that, and we will see you in the next video.